A Roman soldier stands at the edge of the desert. His pay isn't coins, it's a bag of white crystals. That wasn't a punishment. That was wealth, salt. The most ordinary thing in your kitchen right now was once the most valuable substance on Earth. And the reason why changes everything you think you know about how civilizations are built. Before refrigerators, before preservatives, before plastic wrap. There was exactly one way to keep food from rotting: salt. If you controlled salt, you controlled whether armies could march, whether cities could eat through winter, whether empires could survive at all. The word salary comes from the Latin word salarium, the payment of salt to Roman soldiers. You are still, in a very real sense, being paid in salt today. But this goes deeper than language. Around 6050 BC, archaeologists found the oldest known salt works on Earth, a site in Poiana Slatini, Romania. Ancient people were boiling spring water to extract salt before agriculture was even fully established. Before writing, before the wheel, salt came first. Why? Because without it, you die. The human body needs sodium to fire every single nerve signal, to contract every muscle, to regulate the pressure of every drop of blood in your veins. You are not just eating salt for flavor, you are maintaining the electrochemical conditions that make thought itself possible. Early humans got sodium from raw meat, but once we started cooking, once we shifted to grain-based diets, that natural source disappeared, and suddenly a mineral we couldn't produce, couldn't fake, and couldn't live without became the most strategic resource on the planet. Think about what that means. Every river in the ancient world that ran near a salt deposit became a border, a battleground, a reason to build a city. Rome built the Via Salaria, the Salt Road, specifically to move salt from the coast to the interior. It is one of the oldest roads in Italy, built for salt, not for conquest, not for trade in gold, for salt. In the 12th century, the Republic of Venice rose to dominate the Mediterranean partly through a monopoly on salt trading. They would buy salt cheaply, stockpile it, and control its price across an entire region. The salt trade funded the palaces, funded the art, funded the fleet that made Venice a superpower, and Venice wasn't alone. In ancient China, salt taxes funded the Great Wall. In Ethiopia, blocks of salt called a mole were used as currency well into the 20th century. In colonial America, the inability to produce enough salt was considered a serious threat to the Revolutionary War effort. George Washington called it an absolute necessity. Why did something so common become so powerful? Because it wasn't common. Not everywhere, not always. Salt exists in pockets, in specific lakes, coastlines, mines, and springs, and in a world without global shipping, without refrigeration, without chemistry. If you weren't near one of those pockets, you needed to trade for survival. That is the engine of ancient commerce, not luxury, not ambition, survival chemistry. Here is something even stranger. The city of Salzburg, one of the most beautiful cities in Europe, birthplace of Mozart, literally means salt castle. Its wealth, its architecture, its entire reason for existing traces back to the salt mines beneath the mountains surrounding it. Hallstatt, a nearby town, became so important to salt archaeology that an entire era of European prehistory is named after it. The Hallstatt period, a civilization defined by salt. So when did it stop being valuable? The 19th century, industrial mining, evaporation technology, rail transport. Suddenly, salt could be produced anywhere and shipped everywhere. Within a few decades, the price collapsed. Something that had shaped empires for 8,000 years became a condiment. You can buy a kilogram of it today for less than a cup of coffee. But here is the reframe. Salt didn't lose its power. We just stopped being able to see it. Every nerve signal firing in your body right now depends on sodium. Every heartbeat, every thought forming in your mind as you hear these words. You are running on salt the same way a Roman soldier did, the same way a Venetian merchant did, the same way a human being boiling spring water in Romania 8,000 years ago did. The most powerful substance in history is still inside you. It just stopped having a price tag.